Hi guys, Adam here from Whole Hound Dog Services. We're going to be filming a little video tutorial on recall today, but before we get the dog out, we're going to look at two aspects to your recall just to kind of help you out, make things a little bit stronger. So first thing we're going to look at is the reinforcement or the reward or the incentive, basically anything that brings the dog back to you. Is that strong enough compared to whatever else is out in your environment? The second thing we're going to look for is to see whether the dog actually knows what the word is, what the command is, whether you say Rex this way or Rex come or Jack close, whatever you use for your dog, whatever recall is, does the dog actually know what that word is? So let's look at the incentives to start with. What we can start to look for is to vary the amount of reward that you give, and that's not to take out hundreds of different things with you. It could just be as simple as rewarding the item 3 different ways. So at Whole Hound Dog Services we use the rule of 3. So basically everything comes in 3s or multiples of 3s. We use 3-second introductions for dogs, and then we call them away and then let them have another 3 seconds introduction, call them back, and then on the third occasion they might spend a little bit more time together. When you are greeting a new dog and you're smoothing over them, we say 3 seconds and then stop and let the dog see what they do from there, or what they want to do. If they come back in for more attention, great. If they don't and they wander off, fine, leave them to it as well. And so this works well with our reward policy as well. So our rules of 3 are basically 3 different treats, or a mixture of 2 treats and a toy, or 1 treat and 2 toys, or you administer the treat in 3 different ways. So we're going to use a single treat today, but we're going to give it in 3 different ways. So every time we call the dog back to us, on one occasion I'm going to throw the treat for him. We've got a young male dog, quite boisterous, Zeus, lovely lad, so we're going to bring him out in a second. So on one occasion we're going to throw the treat. On the second occasion I might hand feed the treat, and on the third occasion I might drop the treat on the ground and let him forage for the item. Now that's just with 1 treat. Now if you had 3 treats, you could then multiply that by 3 again. So now you've got 9 different reward mechanisms. You've got 9 different ways of rewarding the dog with just your treat pouch. And then you can add in your toys on top of that. You could add in chase, you could add in, all sorts, foraging, scent work, loads of stuff. So the amount of reward that you give the dog is massive without having to go too in depth into stuff as well. So second part of that is, does the dog actually know what you want from them? Now when we start to do things like sit, when we start to do things like downs, we usually wait to see the behaviour, whether you either capture the behaviour or you use the treat to lure the dog into a sit. So we'd usually say treat over the dog's head. When the dog sits, to get the reward, and you use the word at that time as well. So bum on the floor, sit, treat. And we do the same for down, we do the same for heel work. But somehow we kind of just expect the dogs to come back when we call their names, and we just treat it as a given that they're going to respond to us. And on occasions, if people label the dogs as stubborn, what it can actually be is the dog doesn't understand what you want from them. So for this exercise, this tutorial, we're going to use that reward system that we've been talking about. We're also going to teach the dog exactly what we want from the word. So I'm going to get everything ready. I'm going to bring Zeus out, who's a really nice, young, boisterous dog, so really good one to work with. And we're going to put in a couple of steps and go from there. Okay, so we found ourselves a little spot in the woods that we're going to do a little bit of training in. However, if you want, you can practice in the house, you can practice in the garden to start with, and actually that's more preferable to build a nice reinforcement history to start with, and then build out from there. We're already out, so we're going to do a little bit of work out here with them. So as we were speaking about earlier, we're going to use that conditioning exercise to teach that the word is associated to the action nice and quickly. So when we start to practice this, and I'm going to use Zeus come, what's going to happen is Zeus is already going to be in the position that I want to see. So he's already going to be around my feet. And it doesn't have to be a really close connection to me, it just has to be somewhere near me. So we'll give it a little shot. I'm going to get up, have a little play around with him to start with, get him really fired up, and then we'll start from there. Come. Yes. Zeus, come. Boy. Zeus, come. Good boy. Perfect. So 3 easy actions. He was already there, he was already excited to be around me. I'm just using Zeus come with the treats, and he's more likely now to stick around. We're going to go off camera and do this for 2 or 3 more minutes, and then we're going to build the distance a little bit. Okay, so we've done a little bit of work. We've done 3 lots of 3 minutes. So I've had 3 minutes of recall with a minute break, then another 3 minutes of recall with another 1 minute break, and then a final 3 minutes. And we're just giving a few more minutes out from there as well, just to mess about and do his own thing. So now what we're going to start to do is build a distance a bit longer on the training line, so that he's coming back to us from a slightly longer distance. Same rules apply: treat 3 times every time he comes in, or throw the treat in different directions, or offer it in 3 different ways as well. So we're going to give it a little shot and see how it gets on. Ready? Yeah, Zeus, come. Zeus, come. Yes. Zeus, come. Zeus, come. Yeah, nice work. Zeus, come. Brilliant. So as you can see, he's really fired up and really excited to be around me, because he knows he's going to get something, but he's not sure how he's going to get it. So it could be I throw the treat, it could be that I drop the treat, it could be that he gets to chase us for a little bit of time as well. So your reinforcement can be massive. Even with just one single treat, you could use different types of delivery to make sure that the dog sees you as something interesting all the time. What we don't want the dogs to think is that your single piece of treat that you give every single time by hand that becomes boring, is it less or more important than the dog that the dog is looking at out and further away? So we want to try and get the dogs to understand that you've got something, but they're not quite sure how good that is, so they're going to come in and check it out.